Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli with Little Blue.
Hello.
And yep, continuing with the Mandalorian marathon. Now we're up to episode 3, and that is episode 3, The Sin. So, anything on the episode? What we thought of it? You know.
Oh, plenty. It's one of my favorites. Probably has the most action. Well, not the most action, but it's among the episodes that has the most action in it.
Oh yeah.
Werner Herzog, who's a as we say, is an actor and
he's
a director.
He's also a director.
Accomplished director. He plays the client.
Yep.
And
that's all he's named in the show, basically.
I read some behind the scenes interviews with him. He really got into that part. He really got into the part in playing off the child, the puppet of the child, and he just thought that was
animatronic puppet.
Exactly. He just thought that was really fascinating, that whole thing. But you really get to see a little more of the Mandalorians. You get to see where they're living, how they're living underground, and how they've had to go underground since the Great Purge by the Empire, and it really goes in. It builds the backstory. You get a better idea of who the Mandalorians really are.
Oh yeah,
and honorable, very honorable. They're warriors, but they're very honorable.
Exactly.
And I always got the impression, everybody has always gotten the impression from Star Wars that when you see Boba Fett or Jango Fett, you are seeing a Mandalorian. And
but they're bounty hunters.
Absolutely.
Boba Fett and Jango Fett.
Yeah, but so is Din Djarin.
Yeah.
But you don't. He's much more honorable. He follows the creed. He's a really good guy.
So I guess he's kind of he was kind of mixed, like being a bounty hunter and a Mandalorian.
Yeah, he was. But bounty hunting that's his living. He goes after bad guys.
Yeah,
and clearly that's what his trait is. He hunts down the bad guys. So that makes him a good guy.
Yep. So but so anyways, more talk on episode 3, of course. Like Din Djarin, he brings in the child, and then he goes off, and not expecting anything,
Right. And when he gets back on his ship and he's getting ready to leave, he's got his new armor, the Bespar steel. He's he's gotten all this Bespar steel.
Even during that part with his new armor being built, he was having flashbacks.
Yeah. And when he gets on the ship and he picks up the knob on the lever, he realizes, I got to go back and get the kid.
But the thing is, and on that, because in the beginning of the episode, the child was playing with it,
Exactly, and he took it away. But then
it's not a toy.
But then it was like he realized, he had a connection with the kid.
Oh yeah,
he had a connection.
It was coming to him, so
exactly.
So kind of very quickly.
He had
even up to episode 3.
Yeah, so he knew he had to protect it.
Oh yeah.
So it was a really good episode. That was and like we had said, the device we now know as the Rising Phoenix, which is the jetpack that Boba Fett wore, Jango Fett, Boba Fett wore,
and some of the Mandalorians wear,
and some of the Mandalorians wear. As soon at the end of the episode, when the one Mandalorian is escorting him out, and he's in the jet flying the jetpack, or the otherwise known as the Rising Phoenix, he looks over, and he salutes him and flies off, and then he says, "I got to get me one of those," and he does, and I knew. I told you, I said when he said that, I knew he was going to have one before the end of season 1. Sure enough, he did. Made it last episode of season 1, but he got one. Yeah,
even at the very last episode of season 1.
Exactly.
And because of the flashback scenes, I was even bringing up, because even that, because it's kind of established in his backstory, he lost his parents, Because
Exactly.
Obviously, I guess, in the Clone Wars.
Right.
And you see the battle droids, the Separatist droids,
And every time he's with the Forger, and she's forging new armor and all this other stuff for him, you see him, he's, you can see him, you can see he's having flashbacks of when he was, and you finally find out, what that's all about when you get to the end of, season 1.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a cool episode. It really ramps up. I think that it's at that point where the show really starts to ramp up, because I remember when I originally saw it, I'm sitting there and I'm going, oh my God, I'm sitting here and I'm watching this episode, and he is fighting stormtroopers.
Yeah.
He is battling through these stormtroopers to get to this child,
Oh yeah,
and
he even vaporizes one or burns one.
Oh man, he fries one. He's got the flamethrower, on his
even
on his wrist.
Launches a couple of tiny missiles at them.
Yeah,
sparks.
The singing birds, as the forger calls them.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, they're neat little guided missiles that reach their target. And remember, he tried to use that in a later episode unsuccessfully.
He what now? He
you remember the guy with the horns, the one that looked like the whatever that species?
Yeah, that species was, and we saw in New Hope.
Yeah,
and Clancy Brown plays him.
Yeah, he's really good at playing him too.
Oh yeah,
but he's unsuccessful in taking him out with those singing birds.
Yeah.
So whistling birds. I keep calling them singing birds. They're called whistling birds.
Okay.
Close enough.
Yeah. Even in episode 3, he because that eye, that pops out.
Yeah.
And that we've seen in Return of the Jedi, and I remember seeing that in Clone Wars. And this time he breaks it off.
I know. I love that.
It kind of screams
because it is. And he pulls it.
Yeah, I know.
Rips it off the door.
I know, that was funny.
Loved it.
I know, and that standoff, between Din Djarin and the Carl Weathers' character, and the others, and the Mandalorians, they come out.
Yeah, they do. That to me, of any episode, that was probably the other than when he got the Rising Phoenix and flew after Moff Gideon. That was the coolest part of any episode of that show. Other than the very opening when those doors open and he's standing there. Mm-hmm. That opening scene, that's still the best. But aside from that, this was one of the coolest scenes when you see all these, it's like, it's over. He's surrounded, they're firing on him, he's got nowhere to go, he's pinned down, they got him. And then all of a sudden, all these Mandalorians come flying in and rescue him, and they take out the bad guys. And then the one dude that we know is Jon Favreau voicing the creator.
I was going to bring him up.
The creator and director, I guess, of season 2, episode 1. And if you don't know who Jon Favreau is, well, okay.
Well, who wouldn't?
He directed Iron Man. He directed Iron Man 2.
He was a voice in the Clone Wars.
Right.
And he voiced a Mandalorian pre-Vizsla.
And he plays Happy Hogan in the Iron Man movies and the Avenger movies. Okay.
Yeah. He also
did the Spider-Man movies.
He also did Chef and The Jungle Book, The Lion King. So
yes, and he also he played in an episode very early. He played in an episode of Friends. He was Monica's boyfriend.
Oh.
And he got into mixed martial arts and got the crap kicked out of him.
Yeah.
It was a funny episode.
He even directed, of course, other films like Elf and Zathura.
Exactly.
So. But anyway, so do you think it could have been him in that armor, or it may have not been? I mean,
it could have been. The guy was a big guy wearing the armor, and Jon Favreau is a big guy, so it very well could have been him. But I'm thinking they probably just had an extra in the suit,
yeah,
and they used his voice for it.
Yeah, and just Jon Favreau did the voice.
Exactly.
So, but yeah, so and of course and at the end of the episode, because Din Djarin, he escapes, And not killing Carl Weathers, but he just kind of wounds him or something.
Exactly.
Just to get him off the ship and just, back off or something like that. Mm-hmm. And at the end, because he's flying in, and as we said, he gives that little ball that was screwed on, and gives it to the child,
mm-hmm.
to play with. And and boom, the episode ends. And episode 3 is good.
It was.
Yeah.
It was one of the best. But next up is episode 4.
Episode 4 is your favorite.
Which is my favorite in the whole...
in season 1.
It's all of season 1. There's just something about it I love. And it was directed by...
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yep.
And she did a great job with it, too.
Yeah.
And I think there's a tie-in with that episode 4. I'm saying this now.
There's a tie-in? What do you mean?
There's going to be a tie-in at the end. When they end this series, and Lord, I hope it goes on for another 8 seasons.
Yeah.
But when it finally ends... that season 4 is going to come into play. We'll just wait and see.
Maybe. We'll see. But we'll get to episode 4 in the next one. So in the next review, you get the idea. So yeah. So anyway, so if that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed our review of episode 3.
The Sin.
The Sin, chapter 3, basically, as they're titled. So more new review videos coming your way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward. And more to come for the Mandalorian Marathon. And up next, as we were saying, you know, episode 4, and which is your favorite. So,
Exactly.
So with that being said, we hope you guys enjoyed our review, and we'll see you guys in the next video/review. And continuing on with the Mandalorian Marathon. Any last words?
This is the way.
This is the way. Little Blue says this is the way. For me, take care, peace out, and we have spoken.
Peace.
Peace.